Hi, welcome to our last level 3 simultaneous equations video and our second in finding a range of solutions. Now we got halfway through a problem, so let's pick it up from here. We have equations f, g and h. What we're going to now do is rearrange each of them twice. So starting with f, we're going to pop the minus 3z on the other side and divide everything by 6, so we get y equal to 245 plus 0.5z. Now we're going to rearrange f again, this time for z. So we pop the minus 3z on the other side. Now we're going to take the 1470 back to the first side. And now we're going to divide everything by 3 to get 2y minus 490 equal to z. I prefer to put z at the front, so z is equal to 2y minus 490. Right, we're moving to equation G and we're rearranging this. So we're popping the 9z over to the other side and dividing everything by 6. And we get x is equal to 495 minus 1.5z. We're going to rearrange G again, this time for z. So we're going to pop the 6x on the other side, divide everything by 9, and get z is equal to 330 minus 0.6 recurring times x. Finally, we're going to equation H, and we're going to pop the 9y over to the other side, divide everything by 3 to get x is equal to 1230 minus 3y, and rearrange H to get y, so we're going to pop the 3x on the other side, divide everything by 9, and get y is equal to 410 minus 0.3 recurring times x. Right, here are the 6 equations we're going to work with. 2 of them have x equal to something, 2 of them have y equal to something, and 2 of them have z equal to something. Right, let's keep going. Now the key thing is all x, y, and z variables are positive. That's because we're talking about context and nature of a story. We cannot have negative 7 peters. So everything must be greater than or equal to 0. So we're going to take each of these statements and put them greater than or equal to 0. This forms an inequality, and we're going to now quickly race through and solve each of the inequalities. Right, starting here, put the 245 on the other side, divide by 0.5, so z is equal greater than or equal to negative 490. In the next one, we're going to put the negative 490 on the other side, divide everything by 2, and y is greater than or equal to 245. Right, the next one, we're going to put the 495 on the other side, divide everything by negative 1.5. Now, don't forget when we divide by negatives with inequalities, the inequality sign swaps. So z is less than or equal to 330. Now we're going to put the 330 on the other side, divide everything by negative 0.6 recurring, and get x is less than or equal to 495. We've swapped the inequality again. Right, here we're going to put the 1230 on the other side, divide everything by negative 3. Again, the inequality swaps to get y is less than or equal to 410. And finally, we're going to put the 410 over here, divide everything by negative 0.3 recurring, and get x is less than or equal to 1230. Now, here are the answers, the solutions to the problem. But let's show you what this means on the number line. Let's start off with our x. X has got to be less than or equal to 495, but also less than or equal to 1230. Now, the overriding constraint is it must be greater than or equal to 0. So we're going to narrow this down and say x has to be greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 495, and we're going to ignore the 1230 constraint, because if we're less than or equal to 495, we're less than or equal to 1230. For the y variables, we have to be greater than or equal to 245 and less than or equal to 410. Both of these fit the positive constraint, so we can say y has to be greater than or equal to 245 and less than or equal to 410. And finally, for the z, we have to be greater than or equal to negative 490 and less than or equal to 330. Well, our positive constraint takes over here, so z has to be greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 330. Right, well, we could write those in a slightly different way, but these are the range of values for each x, y, and z to solve this simultaneous equation. Thanks very much for watching the videos, and best of luck with the assessment.